Hi, I'm Kate. I'm the Sleepy Teacher, and I am super pumped that you've stopped by my channel today. Like, really, truly so excited that you're here. And, there's some of you who probably know me. There are others who you've never seen me before at all. And there's probably a handful of you who are like, whatever happened to that girl? And that's because, in all honesty, I just pretty much fell off the YouTube scene. I just did. I kind of started shifting my gears into live broadcasting, and I've been doing that since April. And so it was really hard to balance the two with the end of the school year and this, that, whatever. But lately I've kind of been ooh, what's happening over on YouTube? I miss all those people that I used to watch all the time. I wonder what they're up to. And so the other day I came on and I was like, whoa, that's a lot of videos. I can't watch all of that. It's too much for me, blah, blah, blah. And it was just so funny because as I'm kind of slowly starting to watch people's videos again, I noticed this trend popping up, and it's the ITEACHTOO tag. And I thought, well, I should do an ITEACHTOO tag video. Why not? And the thing is right now I'm Julying, and if you're a teacher, you're probably also Julying right now. But I thought, why not? I do a lot of live broadcasting, and I thought, it's time to make a YouTube video, and this is going to be where I start. Now, I've posted some other videos, but this is my first really sit down video where I tell you about myself, which is somewhat scary in a sense, because I don't typically sit down and talk about me. I talk about teaching strategies, and I vlog and I do stuff like that, but I don't typically sit down and talk about me. So I don't know how this is going to go, and I don't know if it's going to be great or not, but I hope it does. Now, the teaching tag videos that I've seen, there's a lot of questions. I'm not going to answer all those. I'm just not. It's just how it's going to be. But there are a few that I do want to answer. So, shall we get started? All right, here we go. Question 1. What do you teach and where? I currently teach 3rd grade, and I work in San Diego, California. I do want to go into a little bit more detail, because why not? I work at a very unique school. It's not a typical public or a typical charter or magnet. It's unique in the sense that I work at a dual immersion international baccalaureate school. So essentially what that means is I have 2 classes that I teach each year. So I have one group of, let's say, 25 kids. The numbers change every year, but let's say 25 kids. And I have another group of 25 kids. And so I'm teaching one group of 25 while my teaching partner is teaching the other group of 25. And at the end of the week, we switch the kids. So the following week, I teach the opposite class and she teaches the opposite class. And then we switch back and forth throughout the year. This means that I'm responsible for teaching an entire year's curriculum in half the time. And I do it twice every year. So it's definitely unique. For those of you who don't know much about the International Baccalaureate, I've worked at my school for 10 years, and I'm constantly learning as an International Baccalaureate teacher, constantly learning. And it's an accelerated education. It's world-renowned. There are many, many countries that have International Baccalaureate schools. It's becoming very, very popular here in the United States as well. And, it's very project-based, inquiry thinking. And the greatest part about it is we are not tied to a curriculum. So we have, we still look at the standards for the state and we match it to what our planners are. We have 6 planners a year. So I might teach about the environment, then I'm going to look at the standards to see which standards that we need to teach for 3rd grade, match up to the environment unit, and then we create all of our curriculum. So it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. We are constantly creating, constantly reflecting, but I couldn't ever imagine at this point teaching at a non-international baccalaureate school. It's revolutionary. If you don't know much about it, you should look into it. So, how long have I been teaching is question 2. And I feel like I'm in a unique place here on YouTube. I feel like there's a lot of teachers who are just getting started, 5 years or under. And that's phenomenal that they're putting themselves out there, because a lot of people want to know what that first year is going to be like. But I'm on the other spectrum. I've been teaching now 13 years full-time in a classroom, going into my 14th year. So I would be considered a veteran teacher. So, I mean, but if you really look at somebody's career, it's a lot more than just what they did in the classroom, right? So for me, even though I'm going into my 14th year, I really look at everything I've done. I've worked, I tutored an autistic student. I did push and pull out support in like upper grades, 4th and 5th. I did after school programs. I have done, I worked in special day preschool. So I've done a lot of different things. I even worked as a 2nd grade teacher in Costa Rica for a year. So I've done a lot, and I have a wealth of experience that I think guides how I am as a teacher today. But so in short, 14, I'm going into my 14th year. Okay, question 3 is, have you always wanted to be a teacher? The very short answer to this is no. I had zero interest in school. I was not interested in school at all. I remember moving here from Virginia, and we finished school, and I was all ready for my summer. I was like so happy. And the school we went to in California was on a track system. I got a 6-day summer, and I remember going into 3rd grade and thinking, this is not fair. I should be enjoying my summer. Like, I was like really not pleased, I have to say. And I remember in 3rd grade thinking to myself, I have 9 more years of this. I mean, what 8, 9-year-old thinks like this? But I did. I'm going to be honest, because we're talking about me here, I guess. And I just remember not really, like, kind of disconnecting from being excited about school in 3rd grade. And throughout those 9 years, I would occasionally get a teacher that I really connected with. And it was like, when I did connect with that teacher, it was amazing. You know, I was the best student I could possibly be. But if I did not connect with the teacher, it was not such a good experience for anyone. When I was in college, I was a lit major, and I was like, this is not for me. And all of a sudden I had an epiphany. I'm like, I should become a teacher. So many people in my family work in education, and I was like, it just makes sense. You know, my sister-in-law's a teacher, her stepmom's a superintendent, her father was a principal. Her mom was a secretary at a school. My mom was a teacher. My aunt was a teacher. My other aunt was a counselor. My godmother is a teacher. I mean, you can imagine that teaching runs very thick in our family. My sister works at the School of Medicine. So, I mean, it's a very education-friendly family, I should say. And it was an epiphany. And I often think back to me as an 8-year-old when I was like, I will never go back to school when I'm graduated. And now look at me. I'm in a school setting until I retire, because I'm a total lifer. Okay, question 4 is, what do you wear to school? What's my outfit of the day? I almost always wear dresses because they're easy. In the winter, I do dresses with boots and leggings, because leggings are as close as I can get to wearing yoga pants without getting in trouble. We typically wear business casual. I fluctuate a lot on how I dress. Like, some days I'm like completely on point, and then other days I kind of phone it in. I'm not gonna lie. So I need to be better about that, but my typical outfit of the day would be a dress with leggings and boots. And in the When it's warmer weather, which in San Diego it usually is, when it's warmer weather, I typically do just a dress. And then I used to be able to wear sandals, but we can't wear clothes, we can't wear open-toed shoes anymore. I'm so sad, you guys. Anyway. Okay, number 5. Number 5. What do I usually bring for lunch? I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to lunches. I'm gonna be honest. So I try to eat healthy, but when life gets the better of me, I grab what's convenient, and that is not good, I know. But when I am being good, I typically will make like my own salad with like put some sort of protein on it or something like that. Or sometimes I'll just eat like straight up vegetables. Like they do make fun of me at work because I'll come down with like a plate of cucumbers and salt. And they're like, that's what you're gonna eat. And I'm like, yep. So a lot of times I'll just eat like a plate of vegetables, like raw vegetables, which I know sounds so weird, but I do it. And then usually I like to drink like bubble water, like sparkling water, or I'll drink like a kombucha or something like that. Yeah, that's when I'm good, I'm good. When I'm bad, I go to the Mexican across the street, or I go to the deli, you know, it just depends. So, but every year I try really hard. Maybe this will be my year. Yeah, maybe this will be it. Okay, so I actually am gonna skip over some of the questions because I don't really have like a relevant answer to them, in all honesty. And one of the questions I'm gonna bump. So we're gonna go to question 10. And question 10 is all about classroom management. And I hear frequently people say like, I'm worried about my classroom management. It's not gonna be strong enough, this, that, whatever. And I think that's a very common theme for, you know, new teachers and student teachers. And, you know, I think as a veteran teacher, I don't sit back and be like, yay, I got it figured out. Like, you never have it figured out. But I think what I can do for you now is impart a little bit of wisdom. And I think, you know, I could tell you use this app or do this in the classroom or anything like that. But in all honesty, I think you just need to hear this advice for what it is. So for classroom management, one of the most important things that you can do for your students is to listen to them. If they're having a sad day and they want to tell you about their sad day, you need to listen. It's not about you in that moment, it's about them. If the student is acting out, they are acting out for a reason. You need to listen to them with an open mind and an open heart. If they're breaking your classroom rules, rather than coming down on them, let them calm down and then talk with them and like genuinely talk to them. Really listen to what they're saying. It's not about you in that moment. And the thing is if you really truly listen to them, they're more likely to come around and to work with you to come to a resolve that you're both happy with. And they're less likely to continue acting that way. So I think listening is probably one of the most important things you can do for your classroom management. The other thing is you cannot sit on things. If you're seeing a behavior that you do not like and you don't say anything, well, the first kid that does it, then another kid looks and they're like, well, they're doing it. I can do it too. And then another one. And then what happens? The teacher gets frustrated and, you know, kind of loses it in class. I've seen it happen. And I can tell you that I tell kids right away, and people tell me all the time, they're like, you don't miss anything. And I was like, you're right, I don't, because I'm constantly paying attention to what's happening. And if you see something you don't like, you need to take care of it right there in that moment. But the most important thing that you can do is you have to start seeing the positive. You truly have to see the positive. And if you see something you like, you need to call it out for the entire class to see. You need to make sure everybody knows. Everybody knows. Because guess what's gonna happen? That other kid's gonna be like, ooh, they just got accolades for doing this. I'm going to do it too. And then another kid and another kid. And you're going to find that you get a really strong set of kids that want to behave and they want to please you because they know that you're recognizing that they're making that effort. Okay, so those are two very important things. And the third thing that I would say is just for classroom management, you need to bring yourself down to a personal level so you make that connection with the kids, right? The thing is, people are always so concerned that they want to be their friend and this, that, whatever. And if they're too strict, that the kids aren't going to like them. And it's absolutely the opposite. If you go in with the expectation of, I'm going to be their friend first, they're not going to listen to you as their teacher. They're going to be like, well, you're my friend. I don't have to listen to you. You need to still be their teacher. They will respect and love you if you come at them with kindness and positivity. And so those are my classroom management tips for you. I have tons of classroom management videos that I post from time to time. You can always watch those if you're looking for something more specific, but this would be the direction I would suggest anybody to go into. I mean, it is the direction that I feel like all teachers need to focus on. Positivity is key. Well, I kind of already answered 11, like why did you become a teacher? So it honestly, truly, I'll just do like a little Cliff Note-y recap. In all honesty, I didn't know that I wanted to be a teacher. I, in fact, didn't even really want to be in school. It was not what I deemed a fun time, I suppose. So question 7 is, who do you follow on social media? Okay, there's a lot. So bear with me. I'm going to try to like condense this as much as possible. But it's me, so probably not. I'm just getting Twitter started, so I don't really follow too much. Like my Twitter game's not like popping yet. But on Instagram, there's a lot of Australian teachers that follow me, so I followed them back. And I think it's so interesting to watch teachers from another country because it gives you a perspective that is completely different from your own, but also there's some similarities too, which is cool. And so there's a lot that I follow there, but probably the biggest person that I follow on Instagram is She Loves Teaching Fourth. She teaches in Canada, and she does mostly memes, but she is a lifer of a teacher. She is, I think, 20+ year veteran. So for a lot of people, I'm a veteran teacher, right? Because I'm going into my 14th year. But for me, I look towards my veteran teachers, the people that have been teaching, 20+ years, or the people that are kind of in the same boat as me, I don't know, 10 to 20 year range. I kind of tend to try to like really follow those people and connect with them because I feel like we kind of are all like-minded, and the people that are like the next tier up for me, like the 20+, I just feel like I have so much to learn from them. I have so much to learn from them. So those are typically the kinds of people that I really will follow. Like I'll watch people on YouTube and this and that, but the people that I really follow closely tend to be that kind of group, like the 10+ group. Okay, now on YouTube, there are a ton. And so obviously I'm not going to get to everybody. And I apologize if I don't tag you and you've been supportive of me. Just know that I love you all. I love you all. And, but here we go. First and foremost is going to be CJ Reynolds. I mean, no surprise. Real Rap with the Reynolds. I mean, he's just, I don't know how like our paths crossed. I don't know if he found me first or if I found him first. I'm not really sure. But it was kind of like this, I have such an admiration for this man. He's so incredibly inspirational. And I see it. I see it with his students, with his kids, with his, with his wife. Like he just, in everything he does, he is constantly thinking about making life better for other people. And I completely admire this about him. I find him to be extremely inspirational. And if for some reason you don't know who he is, you need to check out his channel. You will find very fast that what I'm telling you is exactly accurate, 100% accurate. He is phenomenal. And he's, you know, he's working in high school, which I admire, because high school is scary. I don't think I could teach it, you know. I'm good with the little ones. Okay, the next person that I obviously am going to mention, if you know which direction I'm going here, is Miss May. Miss May is the bomb.com. Miss May, you know I love you to death. She has kind of revolutionized. So like a lot of times, you know, when you've been teaching for a long time, sometimes you gotta get stuck in your ways. And upon finding Miss May's channel, I literally will sit there and say to myself, what would Miss May do? I say it all the time. What would Miss May do? And if my answer is not what I think what would Miss May do, then I change how I'm gonna do it, because her positive energy radiates and you can see it. She's done like different, you know, tips with her students, and they are like the loveliest, sweetest children. Like you can tell how much they respect her and they love her. And, you know, I think with both CJ and with Miss May, I mean, we do talk. You know, we're like on a group strand and we'll text each other. And then sometimes I just text each one individually. And in my screen, no joke, on my phone, it has Mrs. May's name and number. And then for her company name, it says, what would Miss May do? And every time that I'm like stressed out at work or something happens, I think, what would Miss May do? And then I do what I think she would do. And I just really can't say enough about those two. I absolutely adore them to pieces. Absolutely adore them to pieces. And if you do not know them, you need to subscribe immediately. They're like big time on YouTube, you know. They're big timers on YouTube, so you probably know them. I also follow a couple Australian teachers on YouTube, and I am talking about AJ Kafupal with Life in Kafupaland. She's a high school teacher, and she's just kind of getting started on social media, but she's definitely one to watch. I think she is very passionate about her job, and I admire that in her. And I also watch Florence with Teacher Tales, and she also teaches in the elementary setting, and I just really love seeing how the schools are, like in comparison, how American schools are to English schools. And I think Florence is definitely one to watch. I think she's got a lot of great advice, and she's just really a lovely person as well. I do also watch Rocking Dan Teaching Man, and he's also in Australia. And he does all these great like little, he's got all these great like little videos, like learning videos and stuff like that. And he's so supportive. He's a really supportive person, and he's a great person to know on YouTube. So check out Rockin' Dan Teaching Man. Back to America. back to America. So I absolutely want to include Classroom Diva on this list of teacher YouTubers that I follow. She is teaching 3rd grade, and I teach 3rd grade, and so it's been kind of nice to kind of take a glimpse into her classroom to see kind of how she's approaching 3rd grade. And she's always been really supportive of my channel as well. So it's been nice because we can kind of like pseudo collaborate via comments here and there. And I mean, she's just grown like wildfire. I've watched her channel just grow and grow and grow, and I'm so incredibly happy for her. And the reality is the majority of you probably know who she is anyway, but on the slim chance that somebody did not know who she is, I absolutely wanted to include her. I think she's just a phenomenal teacher, and I think she has a long road ahead of her, whether she stays in the classroom and does something else in education. I really see her making a difference in the education field. And so I'm really excited to kind of see where she goes and what happens in her life. And if you don't know her, definitely check her out. Is Mr. Thames. And Mr. Thames is a kindergarten teacher in Ohio, and he has not been teaching for too long. I think maybe 5 years. I could be wrong about that. But he did a video that really resonated with me because he was struggling with a couple of his students, and he very humbly put out a video asking for suggestions and advice. And to me, any teacher that is striving for greatness is willing to ask for help rather than assume they have all the answers. And I really respected that with him. And I, even though his cat did not pick me in the giveaway, I still stay subscribed to him because I just think he's got so much to offer, content every day. He's definitely one to go watch. And the last two people I want to mention are Darren Nakikahara. Did I say that right? Darren teaches 4th grade. I teach 3rd grade. Darren lives in Orange County. I live in San Diego. Darren, I'm just saying, call me. Let's meet up and discuss. But what I especially love about Darren is you can tell the passion that he has for what he does and for his students. But I also feel that I have so much to learn from him because he is very tech-centered, and that is something that I personally feel like there's so much technology out there, and he kind of is giving me a glimpse into what's available. And I am forever grateful for that because I'm able to find new things to do with my students via Darren, which is amazing. And last but not least is Miss Kayla Marie. She just finished her 1st year of teaching, and she just has the most upbeat, lovely personality, and I am so excited to kind of watch her career go. I really want to see where she goes, what happens. I'm pretty sure you can kind of tell people she looks to be a lifer. I could be wrong, but I'm just excited to see the progression of her teaching throughout the years. And, it'd be cool to see where she's at in 10 years or in 5 years or anything like that. So those are the teachers that I follow. Yes, I follow way more than that, but those are the ones that kind of resonate with me, and I definitely wanted to give them a shout out because I never do shout out videos, and I thought, well, I need to shout these teachers out because they always shout me out. Now I shout them out on my live broadcasting, and so I just wanted to have a real YouTube video where I can tell you about the people that I typically watch and why I watch them. So you guys, that was an insanely long teaching tag video, no joke. But I think, it's important to sit down sometimes and to talk about yourself, because why not, right? No, it's important to talk about yourself, to really put your ideas out there, because I might say something that resonates with one of you, or I might say something that might help one of you. And so for me, that's one of the greatest things about YouTube, and I hope that you found this interesting, and I hope that I didn't bore you to death. And if I didn't, I hope that you'll consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. I'm back now on YouTube, so I hope that you'll become part of my community and just help me spread the word. Smash that like button, fill up the comment sections, list your favorite teachers that you watch, things like that, because I think one of the greatest things about our community is the fact that we are all so positive and supportive of one another. And I know that not every community on YouTube is that way, but I do genuinely feel like this is a special community that we have. So I hope that you'll consider becoming part of my community, and that you'll consider checking out the people that I mentioned, because they are all phenomenally amazing. Anyway, you guys, don't forget, thumbs up and subscribe, notification bell.